Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox On Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just, fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. Because it all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lamson got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
White Sox fans, welcome in. It's the Sox On Tap post-game show. Hope you're cracking them with us tonight. It's Jonnie Nani alongside Tony Marchese discussing an absolute beatdown the White Sox put on the Baltimore Orioles. 12-1 tonight. Tony, that calls for victory beers in a big way.
Victory beers just taste better, Johnny. We've said that so many times this season, and that's the best part about it. This was an absolute beatdown. It's exactly what you wanted to start your weekend off with. It was a rough weekend last weekend. This weekend, looking much better. The forecast looks better, Johnny.
Oh, 100%. And you love to start, especially against a team that you absolutely should do that to. And you do that too. That's like the expected outcome, what you want, ideal. You'll love to see that. And, just sending good vibes rolling into this All-Star break. I know we still have 2 more games to go. We'll get to those a little later at the very end of this episode. But still, a good start that puts you in a good spot. And I was listening to a little bit of the NBC Sports White Sox postgame show before we jumped on, and Gordon Beckham, former player, talking about that. And he was saying that, that just gives you that vibe and you just feel like so good. You come to the ballpark the next day and you're all, kind of rejuvenated, energized, all that stuff. So hopefully that can carry into the rest of this weekend here.
Yep, I love everybody who's checking in the comments here. We've got victory beers from Corey, Scotty Shorts, Kimchi Sale, our guy White Sox Sale on Twitter, dropping the hashtag crack 'em in here. Johnny, it starts your weekend off way better when your offense shows up. Number one, when your offense shows up, it's cool and tough every single time. This is tonight, if we're going to go with initial thoughts here. This is the White Sox offense that I expect all the time. And you look who's doing it right now. It's not even the guys that should be here doing it because they're all on the IL. But this is the same White Sox offense that I expected this year all year long against teams like this.
Yes, I agree 100%. And you did get a little bit from the big guys, the ones that you expect in Jose Abreu having a big RBI spot there, drives in 3. You got Tim Anderson continuing to stay hot, 3 hits of his own tonight. So some of those, yes, but other than that, you get your pick to click tonight, Gavin Sheets. I don't think you've ever strayed from him since he's come up from the minor leagues, but he comes through, and we'll get to the story behind his home run. That was a really cool moment for him, kind of back near the hometown. So, but we will get into all of that, but before we do a little housekeeping here for On Tap Sportsnet, make sure you're visiting our website. It's ontapsportsnet.com, and that's where you can find all of our White Sox articles. You can find these podcasts there. You can find any Chicago sports team that you like. We got articles, podcast coverage there, ontapsportsnet.com. Make sure you're visiting there. Following us on social media for updates too, at Sox On Tap and at On Tap Sportsnet. And as always, this show is presented by Grandstand. So when you need some White Sox swag, make sure you are hitting up Grandstand. It is right by the ballpark, 35th and Wallace. And you can visit them online, shop virtually at grandstandsox.com, social media at Grandstand Sox, where they post a lot of their new releases. So that's it. Housekeeping here. Let's kind of get into this game, Tony. It was Diamond Dallas Keuchel on the mound tonight, and I've seen some kind of controversy surrounding his name amongst our social media circles here. And he delivered tonight. Sure, there may have been a few tight spots, but he was able to get out of them. Only 1 run allowed here. Obviously, the only run was a 12-1 final, so only 1 run allowed in the whole game for the White Sox. But hey, I got to give credit to Dallas Keuchel, because when I was on the postgame show yesterday with Buzz, I'd said what I was looking for and keying in on intently here was Diamond Dallas Keuchel have a really nice start, get himself in a good frame of mind, go into the break. He's not going to be at the All-Star game, so you can go home, relax, reset, come back, and let's have some more starts like this, like the ones that he had against Tampa Bay, Toronto, going in through the second half of the season more consistently.
Yeah, you know what, Johnny, just from an overall feel standpoint, if you're a White Sox fan right now, I just, at least in my mind, Dallas Keuchel has been shaky somewhat to start this season. He has not been the guy that you want to see anchor the rotation, so to speak. When you acquired him, you thought he was going to be that guy. Lance Lynn has already filled that role and then some. Dallas Keuchel at this point in time is your 3-4 guy. That's impressive, but you need Lance Lynn, Carlos Rodon, and then you need to be able to turn it to Dallas Keuchel and Lucas Giolito. Both of those guys, at least in my mind, have been somewhat shaky in their starts, where you're not as confident as much as you are with your top end of the rotation guys right now, which are Lynn and Rodon. So when you get a start like this, and this is one thing that I also said with Buzz while you were on vacation last week, is that you need to give those guys some run support early on in the game in order to get them comfortable. Let them feel it out just a little bit, especially when you're on the road. Get out there and attack. I know the White Sox didn't get on it right away today, but they afforded Dallas Keuchel the chance to work through some jams and get the job done. And once you start to separate yourself from the opponent, you can work with stuff that you wouldn't normally be throwing in certain situations, in certain pitch counts to hitters, that will start to give you that confidence to roll on throughout the rest of the game. So I love when Dallas Keuchel gets run support this year. I love when Lucas Giolito gets some run support this year, because it takes some of that onus off of them, Johnny. And I think that that's important, because the offense has the ability to do it. You love seeing that on Friday night.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Getting the bats rolling is huge for pitchers, and obviously for the ultimate outcome of the game. The objective, score more runs than the other team. Doesn't take rocket appliances, Tony. Diamond Dallas Keuchel finishes 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts tonight. So solid outing. Nice to see him go 7, so you don't have to burn up arms in a game that was already out of reach. After that, it was Kopech coming in, straight gas, 1, 2, 3, all strikeouts, and Foster had himself an easy 9th as well. Like to see that pitching all around clean. Tony, I'm ready to get into this offense that absolutely skull fucked the Baltimore Orioles tonight.
Dude, cool and tough offense tonight. Didn't let up, continued to just pour gasoline on the fire that they had. Where do you start?
Yeah, I guess we could start with how it opened. That was in the top of the 3rd inning. That was Brian Goodwin coming through with an RBI single. It was, I believe, 2-out situation there. And, that's opportunistic right there to get us going, because at that time, the Orioles had struck first. So the White Sox were down in this game at one point, believe it or not, after a solo home run in the bottom of the 2nd by the Orioles. But Goodwin coming through there, he has been pretty damn reliable, man. Me and Buzz talked about him a little bit yesterday, but good to see that got it rolling. And then we tack on another one thanks to that Jose Abreu RBI single in the top of the 5th. And these are all, that drives in Tim Anderson. Can't understate the night that he had, because this guy, I love the tweet that Chris Kamka put out. I don't know if you saw it, but it was Tim Anderson's outcomes and his at-bats, and it was listed, and it was always a walk or a single or a double or some sort of hit. And there was only like one little strikeout in there that he put in like lowercase. All the other ones were in all caps. So you love to see this get going here.
I'm still hung up on the one I texted you last night from Kamka, that Chris Bryant and Jose Abreu have the same amount of home runs in Wrigley Field since the start of the 2020 season. Love Chris Kamka's stats, but that, Tim Anderson has come on very, very hot, Johnny. And this was something that we saw at the heart of one of our favorite ball players of all time, Frank Thomas. Got into it with Kenwo yesterday on Twitter, whether or not Tim Anderson should be an all-star. Timmy's quietly been very, very good this year. Maybe not one of the elite guys in the AL to deserve that spot, but lately he's been that straw that we want to stir the drink, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
He's really come on very hot. You could see it right now, man. He's feeling it.
You want to know why he's feeling it, Tony? I'll tell you why. It's because he is looking to go to all fields. And when he opens up that opposite field option, he's not trying to yank it and pull every single ball. that opens up a wealth of, open space for him to be able to, you saw him drop a single into short right center field today. When he can do that, he can hit a, friggin' rope on the ground that'll get through and find the hole to the right field. So
when they can't shift you, they have a problem. That's how you know you're a good hitter. They can't shift you because you can go everywhere.
And the thing is, we know that he has the strength when he wants to do it. He can pull the ball. We've seen, the home runs, the famous Brad Keller bat flip. That was a straight pull shot to left field over the bullpen at guaranteed rate field, and then he turns around, flips the bat, all of that. So we know he can do that. We've seen him hit balls straight out dead center into that batter's eye at guaranteed rate field as well. But when you're talking about hits consistently, an everyday basis, it's when he is opening himself up to right field and use that, because he's got such a nice swing that he's able to put that there, still with some, zip on it, but still it finds the hole, gets down, and gets the White Sox offense going. So let's move on to the top of the 6th and 7th here, because these were where the White Sox really exploded. You get into the Orioles bullpen, and yeah, they're the Orioles. They suck. They're the bottom dwellers of the AL East. They're a rebuilding team. I get it. But still, we talk about beating up on teams that you should. This is one that they should, and they really took it to them in that bullpen in the top of the 6th starting there. And it would be Tim Anderson once again, 2 RBI double for him, and I believe that was to right field too. High up off the wall there. That drives in 2 and makes it 4-1 Sox after a string of walks. And I think I put that tweet out from Sox on Tap, Tony. White Sox teams of years past would not be able to have the patience to string together 3 walks. This is not past years. This team has it. Talk about it.
I love it, Johnny, and the it factor has really shined through with this team's resiliency. And yes, there's some questions about, playing good teams. In fact, actually, Dallas Keuchel just had a quote come out that said, we're playing and we're beating the teams that we have to beat. We're doing our job beating teams we should. We're very competitive now. We've got our butts whipped in Houston. So I'd like to see what we're made of to open the second half against the Astros. And I'm sorry to fast forward just a little bit here, but the it factor that this team has had throughout the season, if you told me that in mid-July this was the lineup that you're going to run out against even the Orioles, I'd say we've got a problem, Johnny. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, probably, because the expectations were different. And obviously we know the guys that are on the shelf, and you don't expect that many injuries to pile up in a season. So yeah, I would say that, oh my God, this is a hodgepodge, slapped together lineup.
Right, exactly. And you've seen this same lineup come out there against the Twins. You've seen it against the Tigers. You've had some issues throughout this year. This team has faced adversity. This team has faced major injury problems to some key players. The it factor here, I might go with somewhat of a meatball take, but the only difference between the hodgepodge lineups of guys that are AAA players, or I look back to Jose Rondon, Johnny, just a guy. He gets it done on this team this year for some odd reason. The guy that you signed that is past his prime gets it done this year. P-Brank, this team fucks. Simple as that. There's a reason this team is doing what it's doing, and I hate to say it, but Tony La Russa has to be the fucking AL manager of the year at this point in time, Johnny. If you end the season today, one of the differences that this team has had is Tony La Russa at the helm of it from years past. He just understands how to win. He understands how to get the best out of his role players. He understands how to do things. Is he perfect? No. Is he going to make the right calls that are going to be the fan favorite things? Absolutely not. Are there times where he's going to get burned? Everybody does. But there is a different tone that this team has compared to years past. They're there to win ball games, despite whatever lineup you put out there. They're there to win. And when they're not winning, they concede graciously to win tomorrow. And that's the whole bullpen A squad, B squad thing. You've seen this time in, time out. There's a reason this team is 17 games over 500, Johnny. It's incredible to think that they've done what they've done with basically the addition of Lance Lynn to this team. and subtract a bunch of guys that have played for a majority of the 2020 season.
Yeah, going further on what it is. I talked about it yesterday with Buzz a little bit, but like I said, I'll be a broken record here. I don't care because you see it every night. It's resilience, it's next man up, and it's kind of a vibe that elevates guys. I think that maybe if you're still in the 2018 to 19 White Sox, you're not getting that level of play, whereas you see some of these guys around you and it amps you up. A perfect example here, and I know we're getting a little off track here from where we were in the 6th and 7th inning here, but talking about it here. And I talked about Carlos Rodon. You and I did the show Monday night. I talked about Carlos Rodon having, pounding in the chest after he's coming off the mound and all that, getting all fired up. I think that's a product of being around guys like Liam Hendricks and Lance Lynn, guys who have been on playoff teams, guys who have, maybe not won the whole thing yet, but they have been around the block a time or two and know how to win, at least have a semblance of that. And I think that has helped elevating these other guys too. And I think the playoff experience last year is beneficial too, even though it was very short-lived. Still, I do think that is helping out in sort of elevating everybody's level of play here. So more to come on what it is all throughout the season. So make sure you're tuning into Sox on Tap here. Back to the scoring here, though, because there are some cool moments, Tony, that we need to talk about, including your pick to click. Where were we with that? It was after the Goodwin RBI walk. Engel hit a sac fly, making it 6-1. Top of the 7th. This is where Gavin Sheets comes up and hits a 1-out solo shot to right. Just got out. His parents were sitting in the first row, a bunch of family members there. He grew up near the Baltimore area. This is his hometown team pretty much that he's playing against here in his hometown. He comes back, hits a bomb. Whole family's there. What a friggin' magical experience for him.
Just absolutely magical. And Johnny, you'll understand this. The listeners may not, and I haven't even told you this yet. When Gavin Sheets hit that home run, my wife turned to me and asked me, I haven't seen you that excited about anybody since Marian Hossa donned a Blackhawks uniform. I'm a little bit worried that you're going to leave me for Gavin Sheets. That's how fucking much I love Gavin Sheets right now. That's how much. And we've talked sports for what, 3-4 years now, Johnny. Like I'm not a big get infatuated with a player guy outside of Marian Hossa. Like he was my guy. I have never owned a White Sox player jersey in my lifetime. Gavin Sheets is my guy. He is my guy. There's something about what Gavin Sheets provides to this White Sox team. And maybe it's just the fact that I've been a White Sox fan for so long and they've been waiting for this left-handed power bat that can play the outfield and first base to develop for so goddamn long that I inherently have developed this need to see this guy pan out. And Gavin Sheets might be the actual first realistic guy that pans out. You've seen like light versions of this with Daniel Palka. You've seen light versions of Gavin Sheets with every single signing.
Nicky Delmonico.
Nicky Delmonico. You saw it with even the Adam LaRoche signing somewhat fits this mold. This is the White Sox player. Gavin Sheets finally comes up from the minor leagues. He just looks like he belongs. The plate approach is great. The swing path is great. Everything about Gavin Sheets at the plate has been phenomenal. And I just, for some reason, have watched every single one of his at-bats so intently, because even when he does not produce, the approach is there. Everything's just right there. And I've actually had a few people talk to me over the past few days where would you move Gavin Sheets for the final piece this year? I'm attached to him. Absolutely fucking not, Johnny. Meatball take of the night. Gavin Sheets is the type of guy that can come up big and be that almost Cody Bellinger type of guy for the Chicago White Sox.
I don't know if the versatility Bellinger is there, but I know what you're saying with the role. And I think you're talking about your kind of infatuation with him here. And that is, you had a need that you were starved for. And all the White Sox have been starved for. The team itself has been. We're talking about that lefty power bat that they've been, longing for. And he is fulfilling it so far. So that is, that I think kind of sums up what you're feeling about Gavin Sheets.
I've got one last one because P. Break asked a question. Where does Gavin Sheets play in 22? I would rather see Gavin Sheets in the outfield than Eloy Jimenez in 22.
All right. There you go. That is probably a bridge cross when we get to it, and there'll probably be some more additions, subtractions. We'll see what they do at the trade deadline, who goes, who stays, and in the offseason too, who they decide to go and target free agency and let walk and whatnot. So we will see when it comes to positioning there. But as of right now, a great moment for Gavin Sheets tonight. That made it 7-1 Sox in the top of the seventh, and then Jose Abreu coming through, another 2 RBI double in this top of the seventh as well. That makes it 9-1 Sox, and Sox had 3 more top of the ninth, and that was courtesy of an atom bomb. Adam Engel, he's back. It is great to see him. And Tony, the best thing about this is, yes, you obviously love piling on a team. It doesn't matter who it is. You love more runs equals more fun. We said that here all the time. But Adam Engel looks legitimately healthy to me. How about you?
Adam Engel looks legitimately healthy to me. I don't understand where this power came from, because Adam Engel was the guy that I thought was going to be a defensive replacement to, supplement the White Sox roster, kind of your 24th, 25th man on the team. And he has, you go even back to the series in Oakland and right before that, Adam Engel has provided so much power to this White Sox roster that it's almost ridiculous at this point in time, John.
Well, I mean, how could you not have that power when you have an absolute dump truck you're carrying around?
Yeah, that's true. But you never saw that before. You never saw that before. That wasn't a thing for Adam Engel. So where I'm at on him, I think he's almost the biggest wild card on this team, right? If he can slot in there, and you're choosing between, if Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez come back, and you're choosing between these outfielders, where does Adam Engel and Billy Hamilton play out? I think is where you need to go with this conversation.
Well, Billy Hamilton goes straight to the bench. That's a no-brainer. That's, you're using him for a defensive replacement, pinch runner. You immediately do that. And then Adam Engel, it's a question. It depends on what the rest of your outfield alignment looks like there. We still haven't seen anything update-wise on Luis Roberts starting rehab assignment. Would assume that he's probably, 2-3-ish weeks behind the Eloy timeline, but then again, it was a tear of that hip flexor muscle, so we don't know exactly when Robert will be back here. But say, for your hypothetical that all those guys are there, I mean, Eloy, for me, in my opinion, Eloy immediately DH. And I know you feel that same way. There's no question about that. No reason he should see the outfield anymore. And then you got Vaughn, who's starting to pick it up. He had himself a nice game as well tonight. So he is out in left field. Luis Robert, I'm sorry, the athleticism just takes over there, and you have more power potential. I know Adam Engel has provided some pop since his, kind of returns here in his short, 10-game stint when he first came back, and then after now, obviously, hitting a couple in this one, a short time back here. But it's tough to say, but I would probably put your boy out, unfortunately.
I would too.
It also depends. It depends on what handedness you're going up against too, and what you're trying to match up with. Because Gavin Sheets offers left-handed bat, Adam Engels offers the right.
Timeout. We're calling timeout. Remember when I said I wanted that White Sox to be about problems that you have where you're trying to fit bats into lineups instead of shit, we couldn't get this done in free agency or all this stuff. The fact that we're even talking about where do all these guys fit in September of this year, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
for 2 seconds. That's fucking awesome because you have enough depth.
And it's funny. We could sit back here and banter back and forth about what we want all freaking night, Tony. You and me could do this here. But the best thing about this that I love is that, one, I don't have to make decisions, and two, the guy that is making decisions is a Hall of Famer, brother.
I love that too. And if you double down on that, the White Sox released their offseason signing in Adam Eaton, who was a guy that I mean, personally, I'll take heat for this. I liked Adam Eaton. I thought he played with grit and, just got the job done most of the time. Tried hard, always ran everything out. The results weren't there this year. but they went and they swallowed that contract because they have so much other fucking talent in the outfield. Like, I thought that Adam Engel in a playoff series could have been beneficial to this team. I don't know about you, but Meatball take me. Or, yeah, Adam Eaton. I thought he would have been beneficial to this team in a playoff series. I thought that Adam Eaton could get the job done there versus anybody else coming into this year in right field. That's been proven otherwise to this point.
Yeah, the production just wasn't there. That's the bottom line there. And like you'd said, the good problems to have here, like we're talking about, that's a White Sox problem to have here. So, yeah, and you know what I do, that's the other thing, just kind of a farewell to Adam Eaton here, is that they didn't, obviously get like an in-person interview with him because he was probably, cleaning his shit out and getting out of there. But via text, I believe it was Daryl Van Schouwen for Chicago Sun-Times, and he had texted him, and his response was that he just owned it and said, yeah, I just didn't play well enough. He's like, that was on me 100%, and I understand it. And, so, consummate professional in Adam Eaton, like him or not. But that's gone. We can deal with the names that are at hand here. Like I said, we've got a Hall of Famer brother to make these decisions when it comes down to crunch time here. So for the rest of this game here, I think we have some questions that we can field a little bit later on in the show, Tony. But the rest of this game here, like I'd mentioned, 12-1 White Sox win. Absolutely love and beat down. Put the Orioles way down in the hole. Theme of the week has been the wire here at Sox on Tap because we are playing in Baltimore. So I had to get one in there. Shit, partner. 12-1, cool and tough. Love to see it. Good start to the weekend. Tony, we'll be together watching Saturday's game, and NWI Steve and Buzz will be there too. So whole crew all together watching the game tomorrow. That's what we're looking ahead to, and it's Lucas Giolito taking the mound for our Sox against Thomas Eshelman for the Baltimore Orioles here. Giolito, another guy that you'd said has been shaky, kind of in between here. We were talking about Keuchel earlier, and you brought Lucas Giolito's name up alongside him here. Just like I wanted from Dallas Keuchel today, see a steady outing, get himself, in a good frame of mind going into the break, go home, relax, reset, come back, and string together some good outings. That's exactly what I'm going to duplicate and say I want from Lucas Giolito here tomorrow.
That's what I want, and I want the offense to show up and give him some run support early. This is a series that you should sweep heading into the break. It doesn't even matter what type of offensive lineup TLR throws out there. This is feasting time, boys. That's where I'm at with this. Get out there. Tim Anderson's fucking hot. Start this game off with 3 to 4 runs and just make it laughable by the third inning. That's what I'm hoping, because you do that, and I think Lucas Giolito pitches with confidence and gets through 6-7 innings of baseball. And even if you've only got a 3-4 run lead, Liam Hendricks is waiting in the wings because he hasn't thrown in a few days now. If we're talking about tomorrow, ball game, it's over. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, get out early, I think, is the biggest thing here, because not trying to personally attack players or whatever, but Lucas Giolito just seems like he's a guy that's easily rattled. Do you agree?
I would absolutely agree that he is easily rattled.
It just, I mean, we've heard about the stuff with the, early game in Boston, and sure, that is a little odd playing that early in the day out there, especially when you're on the East Coast. And I don't know. It just seems like if everything's not aligned perfectly for him, he's not at like top performance. So let's align everything perfectly for him. If that's what it takes, let's do it. It's the Orioles. We can absolutely do it. A guy that's got an ERA up in the 7s here should be no problem stacking more runs tomorrow. So I'm totally with you. Get out, jump out early is the key here. And let's talk about another beatdown. It seems like these have come few and far between. Just that's granted, that is a product of being banged up. You don't have your big boppers in the lineup every day, so you're not spacing out distance from the other teams with like a string of bombs that you're hitting like we were able to do last year with everyone healthy there, but still put yourself in the best position to win is the bottom line there. So yes. And I hope we're talking about a beatdown, another blowout, because this is a team that you can easily do it against.
Absolutely, Johnny. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so that's about all I've got for tomorrow's game. Like, so make sure you're following along with us on Twitter at Sox on Tap because all 4 of us will be together tomorrow. Beverages will be flowing. There'll be plenty of content coming out. Let's just say that. So make sure you follow along with us. We'll have some banter. Maybe we'll go live for a little bit during it. Have a little discussion back and forth for maybe a half inning or so and whatnot, and possibly do a quick stream after like this to do a little recap and lead into Sunday's game. But we shall see how the day goes tomorrow. But like I said, just make sure you're following at Sox on Tap on Twitter. So into last sections here. We'll take one question and then we'll get into cool shit we saw in White Sox land and tinfoil, meatball, all that stuff. And it was a couple, we got P Brank and Sockside Mike kind of talking this out in the comment section here. And that was Sockside Mike asked, who's starting right field in the playoffs if that began today? And I'll just go first. I would say Engel. That'd be my vote, and I would assume that you're going to differ. So let's hear it.
If I'm going to stay on #brand, I'm going to go with Gavin Sheets in right field. I like his bat in the lineup. I think some of this depends on Luis Roberts' return and how Eloy Jimenez is utilized when he returns as well. If he's primarily a DH that affords you another spot so you could throw Engel in left and throw Sheets in right. So I think that there's some room to work here. But assuming
about Vaughn, though, where does he go?
Oh, that's true, man. That's true. You just screwed the whole plan up. I forget that Vaughn.
And he's getting hot right now. Let's not forget about Andrew Vaughn. We talked about all these other guys in the lineup tonight. Andrew Vaughn goes 3 for 5 as well, and he's starting to hit right. He's starting to hit right-handed pitching, whereas he had some, kind of splits that were very spread out before. And now he is starting to hit right-handed pitching. So Vaughn, I think, needs to stay in, and he's a shoe.
I guess you got to DH Eloy over Gavin Sheets here. You do. You just have to.
Yeah,
and Billy Hamilton's on your bench, and there's your it factor.
Yeah,
your it is right here with Lance Lynn. There's your it. It's right here. That's your bench.
Yeah, remaking the gesture that Lynn made to Timmy. I love it.
Except great. Your bench is more like this.
Yeah,
not this.
Yeah. Yeah, especially
these are good problems to have. We're talking about this in July.
Especially when the injured.
Drink to that.
I'm not even going to say injured players. The injured stars coming back. Injured stars because it's Eloy Jimenez, it's Luis Robert, it's Yasmani Grandal too. Fuck.
Nick Madrigal. He's not coming back.
He's not coming back this year, but yeah.
Still, man, these are good problems to have. Yeah. I'm not happy that they're injured. But these are good problems to have.
Yeah, and it just makes so if they're doing this at this rate right now with the depleted, personnel that they have.
Imagine this team at full power.
Imagine what it'll be like at full power. That's the bottom line here. So, all right, let's get into fun shit, Tony. Fun stuff because tomorrow's going to be a goddamn fun day. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. So, cool shit we saw in White Sox land. What'd you have? I know we talked about some stuff that was pretty cool today. I mean, obviously scoring 12 runs is pretty cool, but anything else that you got here that you saw?
Cool shit in White Sox land, man. I've got to prepare better for this segment. Just between you and I, because Buzz doesn't hit me. Buzz doesn't hit me with it. Steve doesn't hit me with this.
You think about it then. I'll start. Let
me think about it for a second.
It's the guy behind home plate who was double fisting drinks all night. He's got the long beard. We got our guy Duke Coughlin tagged me in the tweet, said, this guy looks like he listens to ZZ Top. And someone replied to him and said, shit, that guy is in ZZ Top. Yeah, I love it. It was perfect. Props to that guy. That was awesome. Wearing a White Sox jersey right behind home plate so you could see him all game. Double fisting, tall boys. That's how you crack them on a Friday night, Tony.
It absolutely is. Double fisting tall boys is always a good move. I think we can endorse that. We can absolutely endorse that. You've got the Crack'em koozie going. I don't have a koozie, but drinking diesels. Johnny, cool shit in White Sox. Can I go with some uncool stuff? Jace Fry cutting his hair.
Oh yeah, no, that's not cool.
That's not cool. So I'm gonna spin this back. We're gonna go spin zone here. When Jace Fry used to warm up in the bullpen, I thought hey man, my buddy Johnny Nani's warming up right now. And now that's not happening. So you got to tell me the flow. You've been working with this now for what, like a year and a half?
Yeah.
Year and a half. How long is it going to take Jace Fry to get his swag back?
Man, that's tough. I mean, it depends on how long it takes, but you're probably not looking at wings until about, with him cutting his hair now, probably not until October. You're not looking at that's even like just a little flare out at the beginning, but to get a flow, we're talking not till spring training, Jace.
That's rough stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to parlay that because we're talking about hair. Michael Kopech. Cool stuff I saw in White Sox land. Michael Kopech has been working on his beard, Johnny. We love beards here. I know I just trimmed mine, but Buzz is a big beard guy. You're a beard guy. I'd like to see Steve. Like,
he's a scruff guy.
He's a scruff guy, but I want to see Steve with some luscious, like at least like to hear, like just give me something. Because I feel like we should bring Sox playoff beards into existence this year on Sox on Tap. So
Four Feathers Sox on Tap crossover.
Yes. Playoff beards are going to be a thing here for Sox on Tap.
And our followers too. Not just us, our followers, listeners, everyone. If you got it, you got the facial hair, grow it, baby. Even if you don't, if it's scrappy as shit, grow it. And it's in the name of the White Sox.
Yes. I think we can commit to that. So if we're going to go cool shit in White Sox Twitter or White Sox land, we're bringing playoff beards this year. Yeah.
And going back to your point, though, Michael Kopech is joining the Fear the Beard Club. Before, it was, obviously, Mr. Lance Lynn, Dallas Keuchel. Lucas Giolito had a little bit of it, and he kind of varies in his length, too. Sometimes he lets go. Sometimes he's more like you are right now. But that was about it, because it's the ones with beards. And now Michael Kopech's got it. And it's a little red. It's a little blonde. It's great. I love it.
It's fantastic, because he's always been kind of a cleaner cut kind of guy. And now you see him out there.
He'd have the little wings, but the
sweat dripping out of the beard. Man. They're like, and you're pumping 99 miles an hour. Let's just talk 1 second about how unfair that is for everybody.
Yeah, that's some cool shit we saw in White Sox land.
Yes, that's some cool shit. So,
what was your tweet? That was a great tweet. When you're down, 8 runs?
Imagine being down 8 runs, and Michael Kopech comes out. And he's pumping 99 miles an hour. That's just absolutely ruthless. It is. It is ruthless. It's almost the same thing as hitting a 3-run bomb off of a position player pitching.
Yeah.
To me, kind of the same. Tony La Russa does like to step on throats, Johnny. I think that's what we confirmed tonight.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, all right. Any meatball, meatball takes, tinfoil hat theories we got going on here?
I've given a few throughout this episode.
Yeah, so you did a few meatball takes.
What do you got?
Mine was that Dallas Keuchel is better than you think he is.
I can argue that one. I did not like the comments about the outfield positioning. So if we want to talk a little bit longer here. What are your thoughts on that? Because he's a ground ball guy. I didn't see what he said about outfield positioning. What are you talking about? After his last loss, he came to the media and said that he was upset with how the outfield was positioned. So that was a problem for him. And now the running joke is like maybe he should throw more ground balls instead of letting things go to the outfield or giving up fly balls. It's a fair. Yeah, well, you gotta forgive me. I was off the reservation last week, most literally. I was gonna say, man, like for somebody who's been off the reservation, you've been like, you jumped right back in after your IL stint. Yeah, yeah, I mean that's interesting comments there. But let's go. I'm gonna go with firsthand evidence here. I was at the starts that he had against both the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays, and
he nutted up and looked like Houston Astros Dallas Keuchel. Maybe not as many strikeouts, but man, he got the job done. And those were two pretty potent offenses that had been able to get to us against other pitchers that we had thrown out there. So that's where I'd sit at that. And that is sure, that might be the ceiling for him. But I think a veteran presence like that we saw. I mean, last year, think about how good he was through. Granted, it was a shortened season, but he was like no doubt the number 2. And I know we have new names in here. We got Lance Lynn in here. We've got Dylan Cease making strides. And we got Carlos Rodon's resurgence here, and he's healthy. But still, I think Dallas. And I'm not advocating for him to be like a starter. I wouldn't even, if we had a 3-game playoff series. I don't even know if I would put him in there. But I think he's better than people are giving him credit for. And I think comments like that, it maybe he shares a little bit of a gripe. Who the hell isn't, upset after, losing effort? Imagine you have a shitty day at work. What are you supposed to come home and not bitch about it?
So here's my question for you.
I think Dallas Keuchel is a little better than people are giving him credit for. There you go. There's my meatball take.
Let's dig in, though. Let's dig in on this. If you had 7 innings of baseball that you needed somebody to pitch, are you taking Michael Kopech or Dallas Keuchel?
No, Michael Kopech. And I'm not trying to make any arguments that Dallas Keuchel should be above anyone, but we talk about stuff like tonight. Okay, we love Lance Lynn here, and I'm one of the biggest Lance Lynn is my favorite pitcher on the team. There's no question about it. But he gets himself into a jam, and then when he works himself out of it with 2 strikeouts, is all, and he's yelling at the camera, and that's all great. I love all that shit, and that's awesome. But we're all applauding him and saying, yeah, because the overall stats on the whole are better. But Dallas Keuchel does it tonight, and granted, it's against a little bit of a shittier opponent, but whatever. You got to do it against whoever the hell is in front of you. He goes and gets himself into a little bit of a jam, strikes out 2, get out of an inning, and it's not as much like near fanfare. When it comes to that. So I think I can at least, take off the bias hat there and be like, oh, it's all, Lance Lynn all the time for me, and say that, okay, I can applaud Dallas Keuchel for doing that.
There's an energy factor there. You've got a guy that screams at slapdick motherfuckers, and then you've got a guy that poses nude in ESPN magazine.
Yeah. Did they both strike out 2 guys to get out of a jam?
They did, but who's bringing the energy? Who's bringing the energy?
Lance Lynn is, and that's why he'd be your number 1 starter in the
exactly.
playoffs.
So if Dallas Keuchel
you're making it seem like I'm saying that Dallas Keuchel should be a starter up in there. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that maybe
he is underrated. He is underrated.
Okay,
but
all right. Then that's all
I'm just telling him to scream at some motherfuckers. That's all I'm telling him to do.
Some guy. You're gonna say that to Dylan Cease, the guy that doesn't show any emotion either way ever. I don't know if he's ever smiled or frowned.
Well, that's my problem with him. Like if we're gonna get real here, the only problem I have with Dylan Cease is that he's just fucking boring. There's my meatball take.
Very cerebral guy. Just
do something interesting for 5 seconds. Scream at somebody. Provide me some sort of entertainment as a sports fan. I told this to Buzz when we were driving to the game the other day while you were on vacation. I said this was as we were heading into the Donaldson game. And he's like, I don't think they're going to throw at him. I said, I hope they throw at him. And everybody didn't want the whole thing online is like, don't throw at him, don't throw at him. And he's like, why would you want them to throw at Donaldson? I said, I just paid money for tickets.
I want to see some fireworks.
I want to see some fireworks. I want to see some shit explode.
Okay, well, you're
that's
talking
entertainment value for the consumer.
Yes,
you want that cool and tough shit. So if we're talking about what's cool and tough and what's not cool and tough, we can make arguments about unwritten rules and all this other shit. I love that there's unwritten rules because I love that people get upset about them. I love the fact that drives controversy. I love that it creates controversy. That's why I'm watching this. This is for entertainment value. Yeah. So if I've got 2 teams that hate each other, or if I've got people screaming at other people, like that draws me in. There's a reason that the gladiators fought. There's a reason that people watch wrestling. You want to see people hate each other. That's what sport is. So, I want to see more energy out of Dylan Cease. You drop that hammer on somebody and then you scream at them, can't fucking touch that, and walk off the mound like you're Carlos Rodon. Yeah, I'm going to fucking love Dylan Cease. Right now, nothing. Just, Zen master walking off the side. Like, I can go to my job and watch somebody do something really good in my office cubicle. And, they're really good at doing Excel spreadsheets. That's not fucking entertaining. I want somebody to fucking drop a hammer on somebody and say, you can't fucking touch this. Come out here and fucking touch this. You'll get sparks. That's what I want. That's why we watch this.
And that's why you should never miss a Friday show here at Sox on Tap. You know, we get the liquor in us a little bit, pounded into us, and we cut a little loose here. I love it, Tony. Yeah, no, all good points there, and I like how that discussion just kind of went on a tangent.
Don't be lame and
entertainment there from going off of me just saying that Dallas Keuchel is underappreciated, but that's the way it goes here. All right, one last thing we did not do, Tony, and that is Picks to Click for Saturday afternoon's game. So. Hit me with yours. I think I know who it's going to be.
You already know who it is. It's Gavin fucking Sheets, man.
All right. I just need to hear you say it. All right. I will. Let's see. We got Eshelman, righty on the mound, should probably go with the lefty, even though TA did pan out today. That was a good one. I'm glad I went with him. He's hot as all hell, but I went with him today, so I'm going to change it up. You know what? I'm just going to bump down a little bit in the order, and I'll go with Yoan Moncada. I need to see a ball out to the warehouse in right field. We didn't get one tonight. I know Gavin Sheets did hit a home run to right, but it was into the stand section there. I want to see
he could have hit it farther.
Yeah, I want to see a pull shot, and that means closer to the line because that's getting up over that kind of standing room platform that they have there and getting to that warehouse. Buzz had wanted it for today. That's why he picked Moncada, so I'll just slide it right on down to me. Mangata, excuse me, not Moncada, Mangada.
I can't wait till he hits another home run in all white and just drops the bat.
Yeah, dude, the height. That's another thing too. Cool shit we saw in White Sox land. Doubling back on that is when Yoan Moncada wears the high socks. Look the fuck out. He means business.
Yes, he does. He's less likely to be injured on the field.
Yes,
and more likely to just show off.
And it's
true.
It's because the elastic is holding the calf in. Everything that's in there. Everything in there is just holding it all a little bit more stable for him, whereas it's a little bit too loose when he's got the long pants. And although he look swaggy no matter what, because he's fucking Yoan Moncada, but still, there's the tinfoil hat theory for tonight. When Moncada needs to wear the high pants because it holds everything together better in his lower body, so we don't get a hamstring, we don't get a calf, we don't get a knee, some shit like that going on with him. Tinfoil hat time.
Meatball takes tinfoil hats. Everything meets everything. It's Friday night. Sox win. Victory beers taste better.
Victory beers are flowing tonight. So, all right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for joining in on the chat, too. Make sure we're doing this a lot more throughout the home stretch of the season because it's going to be a lot more intense, even so. And we love having your comments. We try to field the questions as much as we can while still getting through the things that we need to talk about here. So, thank you for all of our listeners here. Go and subscribe to On Tap Sportsnet on YouTube, where you can get in on that chat, too. Following us on Twitter at Sox On Tap and at On Tap Sportsnet. That is where you can find these as well. They'll be live on Periscope there. And then visit ontapsportsnet.com. That's where you find all of our written content. And you can find these podcasts embedded right in a tab as well there. Sox on Tap is brought to you by Grandstand. That's where you need to go for all your White Sox merchandise, located right by the ballpark, 35th and Wallace. Go and shop online at grandstandsox.com. Follow them on social media at grandstandsox and get all swagged out in White Sox gear for a massive playoff run incoming here. So, Tony, 2 more games for the All-Star break here. Let's go and finish this shit strong. White Sox forever.
White Sox forever, Johnny.